And, I get the notification, Messi's big announcement, right? So I just tuned in a little bit. Once I saw Bad Bunny wasn't there, I turned it off. We talked about that on Friday. I needed Bad Bunny there. I wanted Bad Bunny there. So Bad Bunny wasn't there. It was what it was. But Messi got announced here. It is a big deal. I'm a little fatigued by it already. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, you can call me a hater all you want. It's not my team, so I just could care less. I think it's a big deal for the city, right? Or I'm sorry, for the league, I should say. It's a really big deal for the league. This is the best player in the world. It's like, if Michael Jordan, or be even better, if LeBron James were to decide, listen, I don't want to play in the NBA anymore. I don't want to go back to Cleveland. I don't want to play for the Lakers anymore. And he decides that he wants to play for Barcelona. He wants to go over and play for Barcelona. That would be a humongous deal. All eyes would be on Barcelona basketball. And that's kind of what Messi's doing right now for the MLS and Inter Miami. All eyes are on Miami. And it's so funny because, like, for everyone who's followed the MLS vividly for the last couple of years now, especially since 2020, knows the disaster that has been Inter Miami. They've tried this countless of times. Now, Messi's a different beast. Like, there's no player in the world like Lionel Messi. And obviously, you have to make a big deal of it. This is the biggest signing since Beckham. Bigger than Pele, of course, for sure. But when I think of like American soccer signings in American soccer history, Pele and Beckham are the two ones that come to your mind. And Messi just smashes that out of the park. I'm a Union fan. I live and breathe. I die by the blue and gold. It's what I love. I don't care about the other. I care about the league. I don't really care about the other teams. And there's just been too much highlight about this going on. And it's cool. Like, if you're a Miami fan, right? Especially with all the Latino presence in Miami, like, having the biggest soccer player is huge. They sold out. They had to add seats into DNK Pink Stadium because it only held like 18,000 at most. So they added some more seats. I do believe now the capacity is like 21, 22,000. So you can kind of see how full it was yesterday. It was a little rainy as well. You had Don Garber speaking. You had David Beckham, Jorge Mas, the two owners of Inter Miami, speaking as well. And overall was cool. Sergio Busquets as well got announced. Jordi Alba was not announced, but he is supposed to be going to Miami as well. But the big ones are obviously Messi and are obviously Sergio Busquets. But yeah, the Barcelona takeover in Miami is underway. So this Friday will be the first matchup here for Messi and company. It's going to be interesting. They're just coming off of a loss against St. Louis where they got destroyed. And it's a team that's been playing a lot of homegrowns. And it's a team that's just really just been waiting for this moment, for Messi to finally arrive. I personally think it's a terrible idea because now when you look at things, which I could definitely probably bring that up real quick, but when we look right now at the Eastern Conference tables of the MLS, and I'm just going to share it here on YouTube. If you guys are interested, we are live on YouTube as well. We have some cool pictures and stuff that you guys can be a little more interactive with. But you keep throwing your comments. I appreciate that. I'll be getting those in a second. But this is the Eastern Conference tables, and it gets really interesting. Like, I personally believe that the top four is set. I believe that the top four, Cincinnati, I think they have the top spot. Like, 8 points separates first and second place. I just think that Cincinnati, it would take a serious collapse for Cincinnati to get it done, and I don't think they will. I think Cincinnati will stay in first, but I think that the top four will stay the same. I think Cincinnati, New England, Philly, and Nashville will remain within those four. 5 through 7, I think that Orlando, Columbus, and I think Orlando and Columbus could stay in 5 and 6. They could probably interchange. Atlanta, I don't know. They're losing bodies, and they don't have a lot of depth, and that's been the problem of why they've been falling. If healthy, you're probably talking about them in the mix with Nashville, Philadelphia, New England, Cincinnati, but they can't stay healthy, and they don't have depth. So I could definitely see them falling. If they could get healthy at the right time, maybe they could rise. But that's a team that definitely a playoff spot, but I don't think they'll stay in that 7th spot. 8 and 9, I think they could definitely change. Chicago, I don't see being a playoff team, and I'm actually hoping that they can fall out of favor quick because I want Kai Kamara to come here. Would love Kai Kamara. I could see, and then you got obviously Montreal, the Red Bulls, Charlotte, New York, Toronto, and of course Miami at the bottom, looking out at the Eastern Conference tables. If I'm looking at these teams here, I'm looking at the both New York teams, right? I think they can make a late push. NYCFC a little bit difficult because they are missing a lot of pieces that in the past probably would have excelled them into a playoff spot. There's no Maxi Morales, there's no Collins, nor Sean Johnson. So that's a big difference. Miami's interesting. They have 18 points. Right now, they are 12 points behind the ninth place team, DC United. Messi's a GOAT, no doubt about it. Sergio Busquets, probably the best central defensive mid of all time. Jordi Alba is still really good as a left back. I don't think that is enough to overcome some of these teams. And obviously, they're gonna round them out, or at least throw Messi out there in the matchup here on Friday against Cruz Azul. But when they come back to play, and after Leagues Cup is done, we'll talk about Leagues Cup in a little bit. They have Charlotte first, then they're in Open Cup, which I wonder if they'll play Messi in Open Cup. I'll be interested to see. Then they got Red Bull, which, two winnable matches for sure. Then they got Nashville. And Nashville is a strong defensive team. Then they got LAFC. Then they got SKC, who's finding their form, and then Atlanta. So that's a tough test. So I understand that there is a lot of love and there is a lot of anticipation for Lionel Messi. And it's like, you should have seen the scenes yesterday. It's like they won the MLS Cup, the way they were celebrating. It was like a huge parade. Now, again, it's the best player of all time, and I get that. But my question is, what's going to happen when this team misses the playoffs? Because you know what I don't want to see? Is the constant MLS coverage that we don't need about how Messi's Miami missed the playoffs. Sports Center. Messi Miami misses playoffs. It's going to be like when the Cowboys miss the playoffs, or when the Lakers miss the playoffs, or when the Yankees miss the playoffs. Like, why the fuck are we talking about these teams? So it'll be interesting to see. But welcome Messi to the United States. Welcome Messi to MLS. He's already got his membership at Publix. He's a frequent shopper at Publix. He's got the Publix sub. I hear is a huge deal down there. I guess it's kind of what happens when you don't have sandwich culture in Florida. Publix is like the thing. The Publix sub. I've yet to have it, but I hear it's his delicacy. The chicken sandwich at Publix. I know a few things down in Florida. Luckily, I'm from Philly, and we got good chicken cutlet hoagies and subs, and we don't call them subs. We call them sandwiches.